Hey, this is Pipeline Audio. I'm going to do my first, I guess, of a, hopefully I can make this a series, a clickbait video review. And I always see these damn videos, they show up in the feed or people spam them in places, and it's just like, you know, it's going to be nonsense, it's just clickbait. And so we're going to do a little bit of review, fact check, and whatever. Just going to do some commentary, fair use. I have no idea. I thought I liked this channel. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but somebody posted this one. Modeling is dead. And so, you know, I'm a nut for the hyperbole. So let's just see what this is about.
The following is my opinion. You may not agree, and a lot of people may find this very offensive or think I am very, very wrong. But this is just my opinion on the future of the digital modeling, profiling, capturing space. The future of digital guitar tone as I see it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. This is my prediction, this is my opinion on where we're going and why I think we're going there. So again, this is your trigger warning. If you continue watching this video, you have been warned. You may not like what I'm about to say. Well, hello there, my name is HW, and thank you so much for watching ToneJunkie TV. You know, I'm really into the Kemper. I'm really into digital stuff, IRs, profiles. I own a lot of the big platforms, and soon I'll own them all. And I think about modeling and guitar and all these things a whole lot. More than most people probably, but maybe not the most in the world. There's a lot of fine people at a lot of these companies, and I do not mean to disparage any of them in this video. I'm just going to share my opinion.
Okay, is there a point?
And why I think modeling is dead. Now, how can I say that? The most popular platform out there, I believe by units sold, would be the Helix. I'm guessing because there's no official numbers out there.
More than a pod? Or, I mean, it's just everything is modeling now. All the junk you play on your iPad, and, you know, if you're talking the big, you know, near $1,000, yeah, probably the Helix. Line 6 gets out there.
But I'm guessing the Helix has outsold everything at this point. You know, maybe not quite as many as the Pod 1 or Pod 2.0, but in terms of digital devices.
Okay, so why is modeling dead? We're a minute and 30 seconds into this now.
The Helix and the Helix LT and the Stomp, they may be probably the most selling family of units in the world, and they are modeling platforms.
Okay.
Axe FX is often regarded as being one of the best modeling platforms out there. It has tons of upgrades. It sounds great. And let me say that Kemper, Axe, Helix, and probably now Quad Cortex, in all the videos we've seen and everything, every one of these units can sound great. They can sound amazing. And you can put together a video that says, can you pick which AC30 is from a Helix or a Kemper or this? You can do that, and you can fool a lot of people. In fact, you could probably fool everybody in the right circumstances. I personally have never felt those videos were very helpful because it doesn't just come down to the sound that the listener is enjoying. That is the point, I suppose. But the other point, or the other purpose of these modelers and these platforms, is really about the player. It comes down to feel, the ability to craft a good tone, and one more thing that I think really, really is the reason modeling is going to die. You are watching this video right now on the obscure corners of the internet, a small channel with...
Okay, we're 3 minutes in. Why are we dying now? Come on.
At the time I'm posting this, less than 20,000 subs. I'm in a spare bedroom in my home, chatting about guitar, and you're watching for one reason. You are obsessed with guitar tone. And when you're not buying something new or learning about something, a new song to play, you watch people like me talk about guitar on the internet. It's how you pass your time.
That's not how I pass my time. I came here because there was a real clickbaity title that said modeling is dead. So let's, you know, if you were to guess, I'm sure you would guess that this guy has an SM7, you know? I mean, of course he does. Of course he does. Well, here I am needing slaps because I'm talking through an RE20 right here, so I should shut up.
Some of you even spend more time listening to people talk about guitar than actually playing and trying new stuff. Why?
Because you talk
My
too
friend.
long. Because we are 3 minutes and 40 seconds in now, and you still haven't said why modeling is dead.
It's escapism. Someone once asked me, if you don't know, I'm a prolific profiler, maybe one of the more prolific profilers in the world right now. I release amps every week for the Kemper, profile packs every week.
I wonder if this is the guy who made those really good Metallica things. I have the one called Chop Tones. Is he the guy who makes the Chop Tones? If so, man, that was pretty awesome.
Release IRs. The ToneJunkie catalog, if it's not the largest, will be the largest at the rate we're going, and I'm never going to stop. I'm on a mission to profile the world. If you want to ask, I'm going to give you some insight right now. If you asked me at the beginning of this, what do you sell? I would have told you profiles. I sell sounds that are reduced down. I sell a signal chain, a sound that is reduced down to a small little file that is recreated on a digital device. I do this by gathering amplifiers, microphones, tubes. I put them in a physical area. I mic them. I listen. I add effects. I tailor a tone together for people to be able to load up and play. But if you ask me now, what do I do? What do I sell 3 years into this? My answer is much different. The answer is, I sell something to do this weekend. In all my time at ToneJunkie, I've actually really figured something out. Nobody needs another AC30 type sounding thing. Nobody.
All right, we're 5 minutes in. So, is modeling dead?
Nobody needs a new SLO profile.
Okay.
Nobody needs another take on a plexi. And I've done many of them. And the ToneJunkie library of Kemper profiles at this point is such a magnitude greater than anyone could ever use or play. Now, recently I was in the studio and I did have an experience where I pulled up an amp that I've never used live. I've never used on a track, on a gig, on anything. But just as I was scrolling through, the producer said, "Whoa, stop, that's it." And we ended up tracking a rhythm guitar with a PRS guitar that I do not own, and I've never really played it. But with that guy's guitar, through these profiles of an 87 Mesa Mark III, it just sounded mint. Sounded so good. That amp that day was the right sound. But I guarantee you, had I not had that amp, I could have kept flipping, and I could have found one of 10 other amplifier pack tones, profile pack tones that I could have pulled out and said, here's this pack with this speaker, here's this amp with this speaker. I could have found it. Nobody needs specifically the 87 Mesa Mark III. And this is where we get into the real challenge going to the future. Because it's not about, I'm telling you this, I'm sure of this, it's not about what you need. It's about what you want.
Wow, man. Is this... Does this guy come from like an Amway, some kind of MLM thing, or a preacher at a mega church? Maybe he's going to start talking in tongues or something? Jeez, man. Of course it's what you want. You want your guitar tone.
About you spending your free quality time on a weekend listening to a guy on YouTube, listening to a demo. Do you think we needed Rhett Shull's video and Paul David's and Pete Thorne's and that pedal show? And we don't need all of these guys.
You don't need to be talking, really. So we don't need. Yeah, sure. We like. Oh man, we are 6 minutes and 49 seconds in. I still don't know why modeling is dead.
We don't need all of them to demo gear to cover the whole gear world. In fact, when a new product comes out like the Quad Cortex, they all cover the same product. You don't really learn much new from different people's products.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a good point. A lot of the most important things you need to know about these devices, none of these guys say. And I often wonder, like the dual path thing, like where you're going to need one output that goes to your PA system, which is going to need a speaker simulator on it, and another output that goes to your guitar amp and cabinets that you don't want a speaker simulator on it. I wonder sometimes, do these guys know that that's exactly what we want to know, but they know that this particular device doesn't do it or whatever, so they don't even talk about it. Is that what's going on? So yeah, he's right. Sometimes you end up with the same review from a bunch of different people reviewing the same product. But oftentimes, I'll hear a totally different review from one person as another. Anyway, keep preaching. Let's see what we got here.
But what you get is entertainment and you get education. And those are the only two things anyone's selling on the internet, by the way, with content. And entertainment and education. Rhett has a certain type of...
What else could you be selling with? I mean, is there something else that you could make as press, entertainment or education? Or I guess there's education, entertainment, and indoctrination.
A style that you might like more or less than Pete Thorne, who has a different type of style. They're different players. They're playing in different worlds. Paul has a completely different style to everyone else. It's the most cinematic. It's the most
so good. So you just explained to us yourself.
Follow
like
Paul's journey.
You
then have.
So why is modeling dead? Come on, dude.
I don't know. There's a million guys. You've got Rob Baker, who then he's testing out cool gear, but then he's also doing a lot of lesson things and addressing classic rock, metal tone, all sorts of stuff. The thing is, the internet doesn't need. Nobody needs all these demos of the same stuff.
No, we already established it's what we want. It's what we want. Come on, just go down with it. We don't need this video either, apparently, because it's 8 minutes in and we still don't know why modeling is dead.
Need all the same videos of how to get a cool rock tone, but we want them. Those videos are watched because they fall within the appetite.
Is there a hotkey for like speed up? Should I just speed this guy up? Playback speed normal. Let's speed it up double speed. Maybe this will.
Community to get eaten up. I don't just want to watch one video. I want to watch 10. And this is where modeling has a big problem in the future. Axe, Line 6, they've been fantastic at putting out updates. But I'm telling you that a programmer sitting somewhere cannot program fast enough, and a company does not have the financial motivation to put out as many updates with modeled guitar simulations.
Wait. So right when I speed it up, he's finally saying something. I'm not really sure what he's saying, but let's go back over that.
As many company programmers sitting at putting out in the future. Axe, Line 6, they've been fantastic at putting out updates. But I'm telling you that a programmer sitting somewhere cannot program fast enough, and a company does not have the financial motivation to put out as many updates with modeled guitar simulations, that is modeled amplifier, digital versions of an amplifier in the form of a model on these platforms. They do not have enough financial incentive to put one out every week without signing you up for some sort of a subscription service, right?
Why should they even have to? Why I don't get it. Don't guys like you make libraries? Isn't that the whole point? Not hinting at anything. The developers make a platform that can load your guys' libraries. That's the whole point, isn't it? Sure, of course, they sell some of their own, or they make some of their own, or whatever. But I don't think that's really the business they want to be in.
Without selling them directly to you, which is why the Kemper has survived all this time, in spite of its challenging UI. For me, it's not challenging. I'm so used to the unit, it's like a second language to me. But I do recognize that other people say they find it challenging. The UI is maybe not as intuitive to a younger generation that's very used to touch screens, right? However, it seems to be a little more intuitive to some of the older guys who want the tactile knobs and stuff on a platform. All that to say, the greatest feature of the Kemper for all these years has been one thing: the community. It's been guys like myself and Michael Britt and SynMix.
I mean, is this any different than the drum sample community, or the my past, the Impulse community, of course. So what? What's the difference between the Kemper and whatever else? You can put profiles on a Line 6. You can get presets for bias effects. You can do all that stuff. I don't know what the hell. I don't even know what
and
this guy's
Sayla
saying.
Sound and Live Ready Sound.
Yeah, all your
and
friends. Blah,
all
blah, blah,
sorts
blah,
of people
blah,
that
blah.
I'm probably forgetting. Reamp Zone. If I'm
go.
not mentioning your profile,
Fine. Tell us why it's
company or
dead.
whatever,
Come on.
forgive me. It's not that I don't know who you are, and it's not that I don't consider you someone in the game. There are many, right? There are some that pop up and go away.
Oh
there
my
are some
God.
that stay in
We're
it long
going
term.
back
There are
on
some that are very
double
strong
speed.
in one genre or another. And that is really a very interesting point. All of these profilers have sort of come into the Kemper and carved out for themselves a specific genre or something.
Okay.
Do I consider Sin Mix to be my competition? Have you ever heard a Sin Mix profile compared to a ToneJunkie profile? We are on different planets, Gregor and I. I mean, we're not even in the same. It's almost like we're playing different instruments, right? I mean, I'm like trying to profile, every iteration of a Vox that came out in the 60s, and that dude has got modern metal, chugga chugga, does it, gent kind of stuff. But that is why the community is so rich. Whereas, take the Helix, for instance, we are limited to what they put out. And they are dealing with this challenge. They have a broad user group, which includes classic rock dads, the praise and worship community who just want a million delays and spacey reverbs. Then you've got metal guys, right? And they're only going to put out so many new amps at a time. Do you think the metal guys were super excited about the King of Tone, the heir apparent, being released for the Helix? They didn't care, right? They were excited about the Horizon Precision Drive that got added in there.
Oh, so the point is that the Kemper can profile amps through amp matching or whatever. I'm still kind of confused on just how much does it do the nonlinear or dynamic part of these amps. I heard the Kemper does some pretty intense stuff compared to something like Bias or maybe Revolver or whatever. But if we really get down to it, I'm pretty sure that the that black boxing these things, you're really down to presets. So when you do a Kemper profile, you can of course model a whole lot more componentry and stuff, but in the end, it's really what does it do to the tone? What does it do to the way the distortion happens and stuff? And so, as cool as profiling is, and I've been pretty happy with the Kemper stuff. I got no complaints at all. It's still not functionally all that different than I know I'm going to get nailed for this, but then changing parameters. Most of the parameters that are going to matter, they're going to be available on the Helix. They're going to be available on the, holy crap, man! Somebody just made it super loud. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Hey, shut that door. Is that door shut? That door shut. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, band practicing. So if the doors get open, it gets crazy. But yeah, you're not changing resistors. Not that you're changing resistors on the Kemper profile or whatever, but you can get to your basic amp and start messing with the EQs. And I know it's maybe not perfect, but you're going to get pretty close. So I don't think that it's such a giant deal when it comes down to it between the Kemper's profile and something like Bias's amp matching and stuff. If the Kemper really does that dynamic stuff and the nonlinear stuff, then that is a big difference. But I don't know that it's a difference in the end when it comes to putting it on an album. I don't know why this is so loud. Hold on, sorry. There's like no isolation here. So anyway, I don't think that's the hugest distinction. I know that the Helix or the Kemper and probably the Quad Cortex and then Reamp and some of the software and stuff can do these profiling things. THX or THU, whatever that can do it now, right? Let's keep going on.
So yes, line 6 and probably Axe to a degree is listening to the breadth of the user base, and Axe is experiencing a widening user base. There's a lot more guys getting into that in the worship and blues world, I noticed lately, now that the FM3 is out. But this provides the real challenge for a centralized source of updates and tones. And that is what modeling comes down to. I can't create a model, you can't create a model, but we can create a capture and we can create a profile. And that builds a community. And that community will itself bring up profilers, bring up capturers, bring up providers of tones as a function, or to the end of the appetite for the community to gobble those up. When I first started, I got started because of the genius of Kemper, and that was this. They only made a profiler. A lot of people have asked, I wish I could just have a profile player. No. No. If they had made one unit that makes profiles and one unit that didn't make profiles, that just played profiles, it would not have been successful. The Kemper would have died. Here's why. I never got into this wanting to profile. I bought a Kemper. I thought, wow, this is cool. Michael Britt profiles convinced me this thing could sound amazing. And at that point, I played it, and what if I made a profile? You see, by having the profiler in my hands, the only thing stopping me from creating for the community was...
So I'm 13 minutes in. Are you saying that because... Oh, Jesus... You know, this sounds like a lack of imagination here. You know, modeling's not dead because you can't put your library into a Helix or something. You could put it into some other software that maybe somebody hasn't made yet. That's not that big of a deal. Let me hold on. Sorry, one more second.
No, I think it's hard shit. Like a good. I hope machine never lit up like it for a second. A slow machine. Or maybe unplugged it. Not catching fire on anybody. Why would it do that before? No. But you can put on these sides. Fuck me up.
All right, sorry. That's I got a band practicing and some pictures or video getting shot, or whatever. So here we go. Get back to this.
Was me. Not needing to figure out, was there a financial incentive to buy a $2,000 unit? I already owned it. It was already in the hands of everyone. By allowing captures and profiles to be in the hands of the community, you democratize the creation of tone. It no longer is held in a central place. You are decentralizing the power to create sound. And by that, you free yourself from the failure of trying to identify which market segments need to be served at what level.
Okay.
The answer is they all need to be served at every level.
Yes,
the metal guys want 1,000 profiles of SLOs and Friedmans and Uberschalls. The blues guys, they want a 64 and a 65 and a 57 super. They want every year. The Pink Floyd dudes, they want all the Foxes, high watts, all the crazy sound effects you can get. They want all of it. The clean guys, the John Mayer guys, they want supers. They want Princetons. They want Robin Ford's Dumble. They want the super. They want the ODS 183 with the EL34s. They want the Steel String Singer. They want John's Custom 2 Rock, his PRS, they want it all. We want it all. Why is there a Reverb.com? There's a Reverb.com because you won't stop buying pedals. Why is there a ToneJunkie that releases stuff every week? Because you won't stop buying profiles. Why is there 1,000 effects companies? Because it doesn't matter how many pedals sound like a spring reverb. You want to try it. You want to try it and tinker. We are obsessed. This is about gas, gear acquisition syndrome. You are an addict. This is called ToneJunkie.
Remember when I was asking if the guy was a preacher earlier? Here you go.
Because that's what I am. I have an insatiable appetite. I own more amps than should be legal in the United States of America, and I want more. I have 5 Shure JM Pros because it's my favorite guitar, and I still look at them every night online. The only reason you don't own more gear is because your wife won't let you, or you don't have the money. But guess what? At the end of the month, or the week, or the end of the quarter, you will have more money, and if they send you more stimulus checks, you'll buy another guitar. That's what you're going to do. I can guarantee you are going to buy more gear, and you know that too. You know how obsessed you are. And so the challenge becomes this. Look at Helix, for example. If you go on any of the forums, you see that some models are viewed as being superior to others. Why is that? Because I can mic a twin up to sound fat or very cool and very bright, right? I can mic an AC30 to sound 10 different ways, but guess what? There is no one sound of an AC30. A 62 AC30 is non-top boosted. A 66 is all the way top boosted, and that's very different than even the top boosted version of an AC15, which sounds nothing like it. And I play every AC30 variant amp. Everything sounds like here's the boutique world in a nutshell. Every AC30, every amp, it's kind of AC30ish, AC30ish. I used to believe that nonsense drivel until I bought real vintage AC30s, and I realized nothing sounds like this. Matchlesses do not sound like AC30s. Benson amps do not sound like AC30s. Nobody's AC30 channel in an amp sounds like a vintage AC30. 90s AC30s don't even sound like vintage AC30s. They sound like something, and they can approximate some of the tone, but they're different animals. They're different monsters. A 90s AC30 sounds no closer to a vintage AC30 than, something else, than something Vox didn't make. I mean, it's just so obvious when you own the amps, especially the vintage ones. They're so quirky. The output levels are all over the place. The knobs are super limited. You have a very small range of tone you can really get out of those amps. Whereas
yeah, I'm really sorry about this, but yeah, we're 17 minutes in. He's still, oh, what the hell? Come on.
modern amps tend to be very versatile and unique. And most people, if you bought a matchless today and it gave you the limited range of sounds that a 62 AC30 would give you, you would return it and say this amp doesn't work very well. I don't like it. They try to give you versatility. Here's the thing: the fact that you're still watching this YouTube video proves my point. You are obsessed. Why are you still watching this? I'm literally ranting at nobody. This is all ridiculous. This whole channel is ridiculous. It's just me playing guitar, talking about amps. I guess if you find this entertaining, it's great. But the thing is, you're still watching because you're obsessed. You love it. Guitar is your happy place. And line 6 is running.
I love that this guy thinks he's a psychic mind reader or something. I'm watching because everybody said this was such a big deal video, and you're going to tell us why modeling is dead.
Into this challenge right now. The new 64 Princeton sounds incredible. Nobody talks about the twin. Why? It didn't hit the market the same. Maybe the twin does sound like a twin. Maybe the 64 sounds like a 64. But whatever, the user base seems to attach to one more than the other. People talk about in the Line 6 world there, how many times do you hear people talk about all the AC30s, right? Or the matchless, channel 1 and channel 2, right? Tons. People love those models. The Fullerton. Look at the Fullerton, right? The Gramatco. People talk about those. People don't talk about the bass in it as much. So here we are with a limitation for a centralized organization to push things out. And if you've been online, like you realize there is no, Kemper gets hated on for not doing enough updates, even though they've been doing updates for 10 years and not charging any money. People want more out of Axe. They want to know when the next Helix thing's coming out, and they're about to, like start, I gotta be careful what I say. They're getting upset at how long they're having to wait for the Quad Cortex, right? People are always upset on the internet. I personally give them no mind, but for those companies, they have to wade through the user base, with their expectations. And
holy crap! Who is this? Hey, Brandon. Hey. I watched this video the other day and honestly skipped through it to see if there were any points made. I cut out before it was even finished. Was very bored. Yeah, I'm just about there, man. But I got like 3/4 of the way through. So let's see. Jesus.
The best thing about the Kemper is that even though people might be saying, I wish Kemper updated this, I wish Kemper would update this, I wish Kemper would update this, there's always a new sound from ToneJunkie. There's always another pack from Michael Britt. There's always another pack from Live Ready Sound, and they're out there from Burt, right? From Burt Amp. There's always another pack. There's always something else to try. There's always something specialized coming out. And that's why you find this unique richness in the Kemper community. So let me tell you what I think is going to happen. The Quad Cortex, if you look at most of the chatter, it's not about modeling. It's about the capturability. The Quad Cortex success or failure is going to come down to this. You can always improve effects in future updates. Everybody can do that. You can always add more variants. If they ship with not enough reverbs, look, the Helix didn't have the best reverbs at the beginning, and they weren't spacey enough. And the worship community especially was like, we want big sky style reverbs, big sky style reverbs. They updated them. You run into this issue. Kemper the same way. They gave us all new reverbs, all new delays. The unit completely, my mind was transformed at that point. They gave us new overdrives. I'd love to see a little expansion on compressors and like a couple more choruses. But
I look at these kind of Clickbait gets views. It does. I look at these kind of things as and I've gotten to the point. This may be super cynical, but to me, if I was to buy one of these multi-effects units and stuff, I want to know that what it has right now, or at least downloadable from the internet right now, has what I want. I'm not gonna hope that they're gonna fix stuff later. I have a Line 6 Firehawk here for the kids to play at their shows. This thing had a ton of potential, and then it became abandonware. Like as soon as it came out, like they stopped. They made a lot of either purposely cripple-wared this thing or just made a lot of mistakes. That could easily be fixed in an update, as far as I can tell, and they just haven't done anything. So yeah, I think I wouldn't buy one of these things hoping what it's going to come with later. knowing that you can make presets on stuff, I know it's not exactly the same thing as capturing a profile, but you can get damn close. I mean, we've showed it in videos many times, and when we ABX them, I know you're gonna say like the feel's different or whatever, but whatever. Let's see what's going on.
But other than that, I like the effects. What we're going to see with the quad cortex is if the capture is up to snuff, and I think it might be. It sounds like it is, but I'm one of these people. I don't care if a YouTube video sounds amazing or terrible. I got to get it in front of me. Okay, I'm going to form my own opinion. Because I've owned too many vintage amps that when I get them in here, I go, great, there's 3 sounds in here. There's 2 sounds in here. This is not a magical thing. It's not a fable thing. It is a thing, and it makes sense. But, you know, is this a better amp than a modern production amp? Well, probably not. I mean, probably not. But they're cool. They're nostalgic. I'm in love with them. I love keeping them around. I really enjoy them. It's going to come down to the captures, and that is our real insight into the future. Axe already has the tone matching capability, and it's been requested of me so many times. ToneJunkie, do you just want to put out some Axe profiles and just tone match your amps? I might start doing that. I played around with the FM3.
So what is the tone match on the on the Axe? Is it? So that's what I want to know. Do these things actually do the nonlinear things? Like can it know like how hard you have to hit your guitar before it distorts? Does it profile that kind of thing? I hear. So you had a Kemper. So does the Kemper actually do that? You play in at different volume levels or something? Like I don't know how the capture process works. I did see how Alex was doing it with Reamp, and the test file had different levels of types of things going into it. I think that he's capturing some of the non-linearities, but I don't know. I mean, if we were to put these things on a waveform, I mean on a no-scope, and look at the waveforms, you know, some of these amps have like asymmetrical clippers and things like that. I just wonder, so is the Axe, you know, like bias? For instance, bias is just like a EQ match. That's all it really is. You run your signal through there, and it comes back with a you know, basically an impulse, right? A static, not a dynamic impulse. And there was another product. I think it's being bought by somebody else, so I think I'm under NDA. So never mind. It just, there was another product where you did the same kind of thing, and it also didn't capture any of the nonlinear parts. But when I ran it, it came out so close, and distortion wise too. So I'm really thinking that so much of what we think is different types of tube stages and things like that is more really up to EQ. And I think if you have seen, I made a video where I accidentally kind of overdrove one of our compressor plugins, and then I put another compressor after it and did the same thing, and then I put an impulse after it, and it sounded like a guitar amp modeler. I mean, it sounded really good. And then I ran a matching EQ to capture another amp that I liked, another software amp I liked, and I applied that EQ to the thing I made out of the compressors, and it sounded like that amp. So I'm thinking so much of the tone is more about the EQ of it than exactly how it's clipping. I know with like fuzzes and stuff, it's probably going to be different, but in general, these amps, you can really get them close with the same transfer function. So what is VC? Ola England about his QC captures. He's muted on VC. My experience with Kemper was grab various patches online and mix and match. I got tones I was able to use. XFX2 tone match felt nah. So yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah, let's see. Oh, voice chat. Wait. Ola's muted on voice chat? What happened? Ola got in trouble or something, or you're talking to him right now? Yeah, I wonder if XFX is, you know, because the cab itself, you know, is interesting because a long time ago, I mean, I'm early days when XFX kind of first came out, and I was still kind of doing a lot of impulses. The guy from XFX said, you know, you'd be surprised just how little dynamic response is actually in a speaker itself. So a linear convolution impulse is pretty good for a speaker cab, and I knew it was pretty good for a speaker cab, but I was expecting that a speaker acts as a multiband compressor. So I actually went out and just tested the hell, sweeping tones, doing all kinds of stuff, and it's true, there is a tiny variation of the dynamics of the speaker itself, but But holy crap, he was right that it was so small that when you actually went to phase null these things, when you played the static one versus the dynamic one and then nulled them, it nulled so far down. It is inconsequential. I was really surprised. I had to eat my words and apologize to the AxeFX guy because I thought he was nuts when he said that. Oh, that's cool. That's cool if you're moderating for all this thing. What voice chat is that he's on? Is that like a Discord or something? You guys have a Discord together? That's cool. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Kemper actually models some of the non-linear stuff, and AxeFX just does the linear stuff like Bias does.
Not at all. I had an AX8. I thought it was a great unit. I just wasn't really using it. I got rid of it. Every Axe thing I hear sounds great. I really, the Helix has grown on me a lot. I at first didn't really get it, but it really can sound amazing. I really had to, in my mind, just put it in this thing. There are some models that I think are great, some models I don't think that are that great. And that leads me to this conclusion. If capture and tone matching is available, we're going to go there. Because ultimately, everybody who's watching this video and downloads ToneJunkie profiles, they want something to do this weekend. They want to try. I played a 62 profile, but I want to try that 66. HW made a video. He said it sounded different. He said that the 62 is more this way, 66 is more this way. I want to try with my guitars.
Oh yeah, Discord. Awesome.
If they didn't load that into the modeler, well then we're stuck. And even if they do bring out new stuff, they're not going to do that more than once every couple months. The magic is in the
Okay, so what he's saying is that Kemper isn't a modeler and THX isn't a modeler and Quad Cortex isn't a modeler. So is this like a pedantic thing? So the capturing, the profile capturing things aren't modelers, but the ones that aren't capturing are modelers, so those are the ones that are dead? Is that what he's saying? Oh man.
democratizing of the tone. That is it. Democratizing the sound. So that worship guys can use a platform to create worship stuff. Blues guys can create, there's a platform to create blues stuff. Metal guys have a platform to create.
But you're just, okay. I'm not going to limit myself because we are actually moving into the territory where part of this technology, there's some things we can do. Oh, by the way, Brandon, are you on our beta tester list? Let me know. Right now, this guy's talking about amp sounds. There's so many more things that you got to capture. Your reverbs, your choruses, all your effects and stuff. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think this is a definition thing. Let's see. But yeah, let me know if you're on our beta list. We got a couple more going out right now.
That's why platforms are the most valuable right now. Because you crowdsource the development and the specialization, and that allows you to hit not just the bulk of the market, but every niche.
Oh, you know what? Water is wet. And the earth is round. I'm told, mind blown.
Word to the wise.
Oh.
If you are developing Helix 2, Axe 9,
Ah,
2,
crashes Reaper and crashes Cubase. Nothing crashes Reaper, man. Oh, was that our alpha of our reverb? That might have been. And there was a stuck buffer on multi-band compressor. If you get a chance on Facebook or something, DM me your email address and I'll send the actual betas. So yeah. Yeah, well, if it was an alpha looking thing where it looks mostly like the stock juice controls and stuff, those are probably going to crash. But, you know, anytime I manage to crash Reaper, I actually send Justin a screenshot because it's hard to crash Reaper. And that's why Alex, Audio Assault, kept warning me, stop testing stuff in Reaper because it's going to look like it works. And then you run it in another DAW and it's just going to crash. So, yeah. Yeah, well, that's moved along a little bit. There's still a lot more to do on that reverb, but the compressor and the dynamic EQ should no longer give you that buffer pain. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, you know, I should limit my use of Facebook too because it's just a bunch of cranky peckers yelling at each other. All right, let's get to the end of this thing.
Or the Quad Cortex. Make it as easy as possible for users to have, to share, and to sell other users' sounds. You will sell a megaton of hardware. But if you can't, well, it's a little more difficult. You got to have a plan for all the niches to be served.
Okay,
however you do that on your platform.
I got your email.
Now, HW, can't people create models of this sound or that sound? Yes, but Axe has tone match. So there's an infinite amount of tone matching you can do. So to me, they fall a little less in this category. But to me, the real challenge is going to be Helix 2 or Helix right now, strictly a modeling unit. That guy's got an SX30 patch. This guy's got an SX30 patch. This guy's on it. Once you buy 2 or 3, you start to go, well, if it doesn't come with an IR, I can just sort of see where they put the knobs. I don't know. That's just my take. This is what I think. Helix 2, I don't think it's just going to be a modeling unit. And if it is, I think they should pivot immediately. Axe, I think they really need to double down on tone matching and sort of capturing existing amps. Whether they do that by the unit finding an appropriate, sort of model or not, that's fine. Kemper and Kemper 2, I don't know what's going to happen with Kemper 2. I don't know what's going to happen with Kemper when there's a new thing coming out. I have videos on that, but they're not going to, I think they're too smart to abandon previously made profiles. They understand the real value of the Kemper is in the community. They've created a platform that people can then build on top of. Quad Cortex, Doug has some really interesting ideas. I'm very intrigued. I just want to get a unit in my hands. I'm dying to get a unit in my hands. I'm HW.
Okay, so that was it. So modeling, okay. I think the point of the video is modeling under some definitions is kind of dead, because if you just get amps that you can change the parameters of, people won't be happy to use those. They only want to use amps that got captured by an end user. And look, I'm all for making it so that you can more easily add things into any of these products. I'm all about it. We actually offered some companies to fix their stuff so you could do some things like that. But no, modeling's not dead. Kemper's a modeling amp. Okay, maybe you don't want to call it profiling amp, whatever. A lot of these things do both. The what do you call it? The tone THU, THX, whatever the what do you even call it? What is that company? Overloud. The Overloud stuff does both, right? I don't think you're allowed to make your own captures on that, but they can send you some or something. Anyways, okay, Brandon, I got your email, and I'll put you on the beta list. We got some stuff coming on. Beta! We got some stuff coming out. Yeah, that guy should make an entire album using a Zoom 9030. Was that the one that went on your guitar strap back in the day? You put the... It actually had, like, I know we laugh at that stuff so bad now, but there's actually a lot of cool stuff. Digitech had, like, reverse reverbs on some of their stuff that just really added to rhythm. So that's one of the reasons we're doing that really short reverse reverb on our reverb, because I used to love that thing, how you can make it go zippy and do slides and things like that. So let me have, I gotta get so anyway, that was just a tremendous waste of time. So I guess the point was, when you make modeling amps in the future, make sure you can capture amp profiles, which is just a software thing. That's not a dead or not. That's just a matter of will. So yeah, that sucks. Sorry I wasted everybody's time. I will be back in a little while, I think, to look at some other